Hello and welcome back to another PinBuilder video. And this time we're going to get a little ahead of ourselves. We have had some catching up to do as far as our video output goes. And we apologize for being a little bit slow there, but we have been so busy lately. So this video is going to encapsulate some of the stuff that we did in our last update about a week ago, as well as give you a glimpse into what's coming up in the next update, which is going to come out this week. It is almost ready, but we have some more testing and work to do on it before we release it. So just want you to keep that in mind. It's coming up, and that you will see things in this video that do not exist in the copy of the game that you have right now today, unless you've updated to the latest version that this video will be representing, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so without further ado, you'll notice that there are little hide boxes next to all these guys here. So you can see every playfield or table or machine up here has a hide option. So let's say I want to hide this table. Now you may want to delete it, and you can do that too manually right now, but we thought this would be a good way to go, at least for starters. You can still delete tables permanently by deleting the files out of your user folders, but if you just want to hide a table for a while and not yet delete it, this is a great way to go. So let's say I don't want this one anymore, or at least I don't want to see it in the list. I'm going to click hide, and oh goodness, that's not the one I wanted to get rid of, so I canceled out. No big deal, no foul, right? So let's do it for real. Now we hit that, and oh no, where'd it go? It's gone. Oh no, but I want it back. Oh no. Well, just got to click over here, show hide hidden tables, and there it is right there. Now if I want to unhide it, I just hit that, and poof, over there it goes. So that's how that works. Let's see. It is so late over here. All right. Is there anything new in here? Oh, we did add motion blur, and I believe the default is on. So if your game runs funky, you may want to give that a look. Also, double check to make sure all these settings are correct for your system. And hit apply display settings if you change any of these. You do not need to apply display settings when you're changing game options, however. So keep that in mind. And oh wait, let's see, controls. Now we're gonna have, it is not in this build, is it? We're gonna have, oh, we have a reset ball option. So that's an option I'll show you in a moment. And we also have a toggle modes option coming up, which is not in this build. It's actually in our current developments. Track or whatever you want to call it. You call it whatever you want. All right, so I'm going to load up a blank table and show you a couple things here. Okie dokie. So what is new? Well, first of all, what came out not long ago was the option to, instead of clicking on edit or logic mode up here like this, which you can still do, obviously, I'm going to press the 3 key. Well, I'll press the 1 key, and then the 3 key, and then the 2 key. So 1, 2, 3. 1 is edit, 2 is cabinet, 3 is logic. Yay, that's nice and quick and easy. Also, be forewarned, I think you may notice this already, but these are in a different order that make more sense flow-wise. Let's see. All right, so I want to show you the new, this is something new coming up in the next update. You'll see this little toggle panel right here. If you click that, these will give you objects that are in your playfields. There's nothing in it right now, so if I click on these, we're not going to see anything. So let's say I slap a post in there, and I put it in the middle. When I press this button, it'll have it listed. So there's one, or the first one is a 0. Our count starts at 0 because that's what we're used to. And then let's see, I could put another post, and then let's put a target and a stretchy post thingy. And now you'll see that these are all listed in here. And if you'd like to select one, if you have a million things on your playfield and you want to just go pick it, you can pick it right here. So you just pick it right there and it will select it for you. Why is it? Oh, that's why. Stretch posts. And I don't know why the round target's not highlighting. All right, well, that's weird. For some reason, we're getting a bug happening right there. But anyways, as you can see, that is another great way to select stuff. And it breaks everything out by type, so you can easily find things on a busy playfield. And to collapse that, you just click that again. So just do that. Okay, so the main thing I want to show you today is some of the new logic controller stuff. So let's start with a ball spawner. And oh, what's missing here? Goodness, I know what's missing there. Ooh, you guys, we got some things in the works. And we're trying not to rush too quickly on those things because we don't want to... Well, we want to make sure that everything is functionally sound before we get crack-a-lacking on lots of goodies coming into the game. So we don't want to have to debug too much. Okay, FYI, the size of this ball right here is actually the size of the balls in the game. It is the standard ball size. So if you want to measure some gaps or distances, you can do so with this. But as you may notice, there are rings around the objects when you grab them. And that first inner ring gives you roughly a ball's width of a lane. So if you imagine between the center point of the target reticle and that first ring around on the inside, that distance is roughly about a ball's width. Well, it's wider than a ball, so it's like a channel width or whatever. It'd be like the width of this thing here, right? Is that right? Did we set that up for about... Yeah, that's pretty close. It's a little narrower. Maybe that's too wide. Whatever. Ignore me. Use it. Don't use it. Whatever. I believe we can turn that off if you want, but whatever. I don't know. I'm rambling. Like I said, it's late. All right, so we need that, and let's see. We need an insert. The way I like to do inserts is turn them on and then pick a color. Let's go with that color. I know this is a little wonky, but hey, it's what we got right now. All right, so that's on, and let's turn it off. And so what we want to do is just grab it and move it over here, and we need to slap a switch down in there, and we're just going to use one of these guys. These drop in white, but you can change them to any color you want. And one of these days we'll actually hook up the center. Did we not do that? No, we haven't done that. We'll do the star plastic, and you can change that color too. And when... That's weird. You know, there's a cancellation issue that sets that back to black. So, don't know why. Maybe it's a fan of the band AC/DC. I don't know. All right, so now we've got some simple things, and this is great. There we go. Okay, we're going to save this as test 22. All right. So, test 22, let's go see what this does. And when we get there, you're going to see that this doesn't do anything. So if we spawn that ball, boop, it goes right over the switch, and the switch has a built-in light that turns on and off, but that's ridiculous. We're going to remove that one of these days here pretty soon. Now, simple, 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 simple. Simplest way to do logic is right here, right now. We'll hit 3. We'll hit this button. We'll create a new logic controller. We're going to name that LC1 for logic controller 1. Let's use caps to make it look even better. Once we hit tab or enter, that turns the name of that controller to LC1. And here we're going to just say switch and 10 points. And we're not doing any when lit stuff. And we're just going to do a simple blip sound. Okay, so we're going to save that and we're going to go see what that does. What do you think that's going to do? That's going to make a blip sound. At least that's what it should do. And it doesn't do that. Okay, well, that's great. You know what? There's a reason it won't do that, and I'll show you what. That was a trick question. All right, so we're going to select this again. We need to select a completion type. So if we select points only, and then we save, and then we go back, start a game. Now we're just going to hear a blip, but we are going to see some points here. So let's watch the points. What the heck? What are you doing to me? Oh, hey. See, I told you it's early. I'm tired. I haven't been to sleep yet. It's 8 a.m. right here, right now. Not kidding. All right, so we go to LC1, and do you see there's something missing here? What is it? When I select that controller, what are you not seeing? That's right. There's nothing telling it to do anything. So we need to select this, and over here under target controller, we pick that controller we made. Now when we click on it, you see there's an indicator saying, hey, there's a switch telling this thing to fire. So that basically just says, hey, I want you when you get triggered by the ball, I want you to trigger this controller, and this controller is going to do whatever I tell it to do over here. All right, so now when I save it, it's going to register 10 points, and it's going to go boop. So let's go watch that happen. Ooh, it's magic. We'll wait for it to get the ball, and now we'll spawn. See there? Look at that. You just have to be smarter than your own program. All right, so let's go back. Now, you're probably wondering, I thought you were going to tell us what's new because I've seen all this. Well, here we go. Are you ready? Let's add one more step, and then we'll show you the cool new option here. All right, so in order to get this thing to trigger something else, this logic controller, you select the controller, but you can let go of the mouse. See, this is let go, and this is hold the mouse, right? So I don't want to drag it around. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to let it go. But now I'm going to press and hold the shift key down, the left one, and then I'm going to click on that. Boop. And you can click it as many times as you want to add it or remove it from the group. So if I click on that, and I say switch right here, it's just going to switch it on. So it'll just chalk up 10 points, and it'll turn it on, and that's the way it'll stay. But in order to let you see that it's actually doing something more than that, I'm going to set it to toggle, and we'll watch it turn on and off. All right, so here we go. Don't worry, guys. I'm getting to the new stuff. See there? All right, so that's doing what it's supposed to. It is toggling the target, or in this case, the insert light, to turn on and off. So it's changing its initial state to the opposite of whatever it is, on or off, which is this state here if you select this. If we turn this on and we leave it like that and we switch back and we do this again, you'll see that it toggles the same way, it's just the opposite direction. So it toggles it off and then on. All right, so let's go back. Let's turn this off. And I don't know, I know that you guys probably want an undo, and that's really not easy to do with this program, but we are working on that. We do have a rudimentary undo, but we have actually found that the easiest way to undo is to just save after everything you do. So if I move this thing here, I'm going to hit save, and you'll probably see table saved pop up all the time. as long as you grab and move something, it's going to say you have unsaved changes, and we're working on expanding that to a big full screen. Hey, are you sure you want to change modes because you have unsaved changes? We'll add that soon, but for now, this is what we do. So we'll move something and we'll hit save. And if we move something and we decide, oh crap, I don't want that there, we just toggle out and then go back. And it's back where it was. So that's kind of a way to undo, but I know it's not ideal, and don't worry, that will be like a genuine undo option one of these days, so hang in there. We're working on a solution for that. Let's see, what was I going to show you? Oh yeah, okay, so timers. Let's set up a timer. All right, 3 to go to logic mode. And all we need to do is use this existing logic controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to change its type to timer. And now we get this little pop-up panel here that tells us and gives us some options to start with. If this needs more, you guys just let us know and we'll add more to it. So the way it works is that when this logic controller is triggered, i.e. when the ball rolls over the switch and the switch fires off a signal to that logic controller and triggers it, what do you want its timer now to do? How long do you want it to time? Let's say you want to time for 1 second. Okay, so I know I want to do, well, what do I want to do? I want to turn this light on after 1 second. Let's just do that. All right, so we're going to say 1 second is our timer length. Are we firing at the start of the timer? No. Are we firing at the end of the timer? Yes, because we're going to wait a second and then turn that on. So we're going to say, well, what is that? What is this thing? It's a target, right? Because a controller is the target. So the controller here is the target controller listed here if it had one. It would fire to any controller attached to it. And then in this case, it will fire to only the targets attached to it, and you can select both. And that's true for the start if you want, but basically what we will do is set it for targets. So the expected behavior here is ball rolls over switch, switch triggers controller, controller says, hey, start a timer for 1 second, and at the end of it, fire the targets. Okay, so let's save that and take a peek at that. So a ball will roll over the switch, a second will pass, and the light will come on. There it was. Simple as that. Now it's not toggled, so it won't come on, it won't go off, right? All right, here's another thing we can do. Now you can probably guess that there's a lot of ways you could use timers. So let's say we have, let's say this is just a switch, and we're going to set up another controller here. This will be our timer. We'll call it timer 1, and that'll be a timer. We'll just put this to points, and that will be 1 second. It'll fire at the end, and it'll fire targets. And what we're going to do is we're going to select it, hold down shift, click that. Now this is a target, okay? So that's one of the targets. It's not listed anywhere yet. Maybe it will be one day, but for now, the only way you can see targets of a controller is by grabbing it, and you can see where the arrows are, you know, what the targets are. All right, so basically what's going to happen is when this is fired, it's going to fire this one, and it's going to do what? Let's see. We'll set this to reset on completion. We're going to give it, let's say, 500 points. And we'll do, I don't know, let's just do something simple. I don't even know what that is. I don't even care. All right, so this one is going to get triggered by that. It's going to switch this light on, and it's also, we're going to set it up to fire timer 1. Okay, so you can't see that. Now that green arrow, we're going to actually add that to these so that you could see that it's heading that way as well. All right, so basically now what we have is the ball rolls over the switch. Switch triggers the controller. Controller fires a signal immediately to turn this light on. And it also fires a signal immediately to this timer. And that timer is going to go for let's say 2 seconds. For 2 seconds, and then it's going to fire a signal to this at the end. So let's see if that actually works. So I'm hoping, and I should probably know this by now, but this is so complicated that it's hard to remember some things once you're, neck deep in other aspects of coding. Anyways, not to just drag on. I'm expecting that this should reset itself. So it should be lit for 2 seconds and then turn off. So let's see if that works as I think it should. I'm not sure if it will, actually. I think it should, but I don't think I've tested that exact scenario just yet. Damn it. All right, so it's firing that sound. Why would it not? You know what? Let's try something else. I think this may need to be a slight bit more elaborate, what I'm trying to do. I'm just going to call that number 3, and that will be toggle. We'll just say toggle. That's not going to do anything, but it's going to toggle that light right there, and then this one is going to fire that one. After 2 seconds, it's going to fire to the controller. And see here, we could say fire to this even, so we could have this one not even integrate with that. It could just fire this, and then that can fire the targets at the beginning, and we don't want that. So let's see if this works. I'm expecting this should fire that timer. The timer immediately fires to the targets, and then at the end of the timer fires to the controller, which should toggle this back off. Let's find out if that works. Shit. Yay! All right, that's how to do it. So that's just one way to do it, I should say. You guys can probably figure out other ways to do this, but you can see that's one way to do it, right? So you could even daisy chain a bunch of these things together and do some really, really crafty stuff. So now keep in mind, though, that your playfield may get a little bit messy with all these things all over the place, but there are ways to organize them and whatnot. So anyway, I'm so glad that worked. Anyways, that's the new logic controller stuff. And let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so if I go back to the main menu and I see all this craziness, I can just get rid of that and hide that. And oh, wait, I'm just going to go grab that one. And you can open it up from back there too if you want to. And just come back to it here. Let's see, what else was I going to show you? Oh yeah, someone was asking me recently about drop targets and if there was a way to group them. Let me show you the trick to that real quick. And so you say, hey, I want to drop target. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. The 2 right there, what that means is there's 2 variations of that item. So if I pick one of these and then I look up here at variant, it's a classic one right now, but I can select a high-tech kind of version. Now, I don't know, it's not the most high-tech looking thing, but hey, it's just another variant, right? So there's that. So that's what that means right there. There's 2 different versions of these that you could select from so far. Okay, so when you put one of these down, you'll see it has an indicator at the top. That means that this is the master or key drop target. This is the one that everything else that you add to it is going to follow. So you want to spawn one and then move it over to get it out of the way, and then you can spawn another. And now you see there are two different drop targets, and if I just grab that and move it nearby the other one, nothing happens, right? Oh, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this one to, let's see, how about a nice green? All right. So now what I'm going to do is go back to this other one, and I'm trying to hurry because I know it's already 25 minutes. I'm not going to edit these videos. I'm just going to slap them together and post them, just so you know. Let's see. Oh, if one of these comes out at an angle, you can just select it and press the X key and it'll straighten it up. So there's something to remember. Now I'm going to grab it and I'm holding it and I'm dragging it around, right? And I'm going to hold now the shift key down, the left shift, and you'll see that when I start moving it, that indicator disappears. Now when I get within a certain distance of this other one, ooh, look at that. It snapped to it and took on its color. Well, what do you know? And what? So now what's going to happen is when these two are both down, they're going to automatically reset. Now I know that's not the behavior everyone wants, so we're going to change that here pretty soon. But this is how it works currently. They do auto reset, and just so you know, you do not have to snap two. When you grab the main one, let me spawn another couple. I'm going to spawn two. Well, let's see. Let's make sure. There we go. All right, I just spawned two of them in the same spot. So there they are. I'm going to hold shift down. Snap. Ooh, snap. I'm just going to grab this one. And it snaps. Now, see, it'll snap into the first, second, third position, but as long as you hold on to it and move down towards the end, it'll get in there. So now I have these four, and they will act as a bank together. And that's why we have an indicator, so you know which one is the main one, because if you grab one of these others, oh boy, it'll move. And then you have to hold shift to snap it back. But what's kind of cool about that is you can grab that one, and those two will move independently. Not only that, but if you want to rotate these, you can do that too. However, don't forget, they're all attached. So if you try to rotate that now, it's going to rotate. And yes, you can use X to straighten that. And we can go back to move mode, and it'll move them all as a group. Now, if you want these to snap back together, all you got to do is hold shift, and they'll snap again, and booyah, we got a group. If you want these to go in a, let's see, like this, you can just grab them like that, line them up however you want, and now you got that kind of thing. And yeah, we could snap those too, I suppose, but you know, it's pretty easy to just stick them together like that. So that's one way you can do these targets, and we'll just put those over there. Let's see, what else can I tell you real quick before we go? Again, I'll just show you these, the new update to the flippers. So the flipper has a couple of new options over here, max and rest angles. So rest angle is the angle of the bottom actual flipper where it will hang down wherever it's at rest in your game. And then the other one is the the maximum swing or reach or curve or radius or whatever you want to call it, that it'll go up. So that's where that is for now. You cannot rotate these. They do not rotate. You can't scale them either. And that is the way that goes. And you cannot duplicate them as well. The only thing you can duplicate with Alt-D is inserts and decals currently. They're really useful for inserts, but we haven't really found a need yet to do that for flippers and things like that. Although we are working on that actually, so don't disparage. We're going to have duplication of everything here pretty soon. Let's see, our steel post, we just added last week the option of a hard rubber option. So that's got less bounce to it. So if you put these in your level, you'll see that they're quite quite a bit less bouncy than the standard ones. And if you want to change the color of the rubber, you just go to the secondary color there and you can change that because there's just that one rubber. Rubber is almost always the secondary color. So if we change this flipper color, you'll see the secondary is the color of the rubber, and then that's the color of the primary. So that's the way that works. Let's see, what else have we done recently that you might ought to know about? Oh, well, these guys. Okay, so this is a new plexiglass ball guide, and you can see that we'll put it right into the flipper right there, and you'll see that it is right about the point where the ball is going to roll and rub on the edge. So these are like your acrylic or plexi ball guides that you would just set up. Now I'm grabbing this, and this may not be, oh, whoa, wait a second. That's not supposed to rotate like that, because if you rotate that way, see, this is what happens if you rotate these. Now, I'm pretty sure we set up these guys so that you can't rotate them, didn't we? Yeah, okay. We just haven't done it for this yet. See, there's a reason why. There's an issue with rotating these, and the grabbers get all thrown off. So that's why we're not doing that. I'll just use this plastics one to show you, just in case you don't know. Grab and move it around with the mouse, left mouse button, and then if you want to shape it, you just hold down the left Alt key, and then it says grab right there, and you can just grab these grabbers and move them around and stick them wherever you want. Now you can see that's basically the shape of one of the two polygons. Now if we pull this other corner over, that's the other polygon on top. But now if we do that this way, we get a V shape because the polygons are in a different orientation. So that can give you some kind of almost a concave sort of shape if you want one. Now we do have a snapping option for these, but we had to disable it because it was causing some issues with being able to grab the corners of the plastic that you wanted to manipulate. Kicker holes, by the way, you can move those, and these do rotate, of course. That's something you should know. And we're working on making these three-dimensional. It's tricky, though, because we have a couple of other effects that are happening here, like outline effects, which cause it to be a little more challenging to punch holes into geometry with textures. So we're looking into that. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it, actually, that's new. That's not something behind the scenes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should show you. Did we add anything here? Well, motion blur, I think I mentioned that already. We may have to create another page for settings. Or collapse some into other areas or something. I don't know. But yeah, we'll add the tab option here, the toggle play to edit mode. Make that easier. So that looks like about it. I think that's it. Okay, so one other thing. I know you've seen these, maybe wondered what they are. If you click on them, it'll show you where your PinBuilder manual is located. So mine is in the Steam Apps PinBuilder Content Documents folder. And then you can click this other button on the top, and it'll show you all your local folders on your machine for where the user files should be located. So just click that, and it'll show them to you. Don't worry. All the game does is read and write those files, images, or text files, save game files, and stuff like that. That's all this game does. So all we care about is pinball. We don't even track your behavior as far as hours used or anything like that. So I just want you guys to know that we respect privacy greatly because we like our privacy. So, yay. All right, I think I've rambled on long enough. It looks like this is about 35 minutes, so I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to leave it to you. Get ready for the next update. It'll be coming out in the next few days. Today is Monday, I think 26th or something like that. And now, go play some pinball.